There is a look people give you when they realize you are easy to use. It isn't hate, because hate respects a threat. It isn't anger, because anger means you can disturb them. It is something colder. It is certainty. You see it in the small disrespect that doesn't even try to hide. They interrupt you mid-sentence like your background noise. They answer whenever they feel like it, because they know you'll still be there. They treat your time like it belongs to them. They don't ask for your energy. They collect it. They don't value your kindness. They budget it. They keep you in a mental drawer labeled always available. And once you are categorized like that, you are no longer a person. You are a resource. You feel it in your stomach before you can explain it with words. That sinking cold realization. You are not the main character in their story. You are the extra who holds the door, nods politely, and disappears when the scene ends. And you keep doing it because you confuse endurance with strength. You confuse patience with power. You confuse being good with being respected. But respect is not a reward for suffering. Respect is a response to consequence. Machiavelli understood this long before modern psychology put a label on it. He didn't romanticize people. He observed them. He wrote for the world as it is, not as you wish it were. And the world he described still exists in your inbox, your workplace, your friendships. So here is the first brutal truth. You are not being punished for being kind. You are being discounted for being cheap. Not cheap in money, cheap in access, cheap in availability, cheap in how easily you can be taken for granted. You think the problem is that you attract bad people. Sometimes. But the deeper problem is simpler. You have trained normal people to relax around your boundaries because your boundaries don't bite. You have taught them there is no cost. In power dynamics, cost is everything. If nothing happens when they cross the line becomes a rumor. If you forgive instantly, the wound becomes a joke. If you always return, your absence becomes impossible, and what is impossible cannot be feared. Now pause. I am not telling you to become cruel. I'm not telling you to become a villain in someone else's movie. I'm telling you to become dangerous in your own life. Dangerous means capable of consequence, then disciplined enough to choose when to use it. Because until you can walk away, you don't negotiate, you plead. Until you can withdraw without guilt, you don't have standards, you have hopes. Until people believe you can leave, they don't respect you, they manage you. Let's start with the law that rules markets, attention, and relationships the same way. Why is gold valuable? Why do people bleed for diamonds? Why is water, life itself, often cheap, while a useless stone can sell for a fortune? Scarcity. Scarcity is not just economics. Scarcity is psychology. Scarcity is the mind's way of assigning value when it cannot have everything. The brain pays attention to what it might lose. The brain ignores what it can always get back. And that is why you are treated like nothing, because you are free, always available, always reachable, always forgiving. You are an unlimited supply, and unlimited supply kills value. When someone messages you, you respond like an emergency alarm went off. When someone needs a favor, you say yes before the request finishes forming. When someone cancels last minute, you swallow the insult and call it understanding. You have flooded the market with you. And when supply exceeds demand, value drops to zero, not because you are worthless, because you are presented as endless. You can be priceless on the inside and still be treated as cheap on the outside if you make yourself abundant. Machiavelli warned that people judge by appearances because appearances are easier than truth. He wasn't praising that fact, he was telling you the rule. If you appear endlessly available, you are judged as endlessly available. If you appear scarce, you are treated as scarce. Now listen closely. Scarcity is not a game. Scarcity is not hard to get. Scarcity is not manipulation. Scarcity is self-ownership. It is you reclaiming your time, your attention, your energy, and your presence as something that must be earned. Because humans do not respect what they do not have to work for. We chase what retreats. We invest in what requires effort. We bond with what costs us something. Not because we are evil, because we are wired to value the hunt. So the first shift is simple, and it will feel like death to the old version of you. Stop offering the full version of yourself for free. Stop giving access without commitment. Stop giving emotional labor to people who pay with silence. Your time is currency, your attention is currency, your presence is currency, and right now you are printing it like inflation money, trillions of notes, no backing, no value. To make your yes valuable, you must introduce the no. But your real fear is not saying no. Your real fear is what happens after. The silence, the tension, the imaginary courtroom in your mind where you believe you have to justify your boundary to be allowed to have it. Most people collapse in that moment. They say no, then they panic. They patch the tension with excuses, laughter, apologies, long explanations. They try to buy comfort back, and every word after no is a step backward. So here is your rule. Say no, then shut the door. No, that doesn't work for me. I can't. Then silence. Let the silence do the work you have been doing for free. Because silence is not emptiness. Silence is weight. Silence is pressure. Silence forces the other person to adjust to your frame instead of you begging to stay in theirs. The person comfortable with silence holds power. Machiavelli understood frames before modern people called them frames. He understood that the one who controls perception controls behavior. You don't control perception by arguing. You control it by presence, and presence is often quiet. Now, you will feel guilt. Your heart will race. Your mind will scream. They'll hate you. Let them. If their affection depends on your submission, you never had affection. You had a contract where you paid with yourself. You must learn the difference between being liked and being respected. Being liked feels warm. Being respected feels heavy. Being liked disappears when it becomes inconvenient. Being respected remains because it is anchored to consequence. And this is where Machiavelli becomes useful. He wrote a sentence that people quote because it is uncomfortable. It is much safer to be feared than loved. Not because fear is noble, but because love often breaks under self-interest. He wasn't telling you to terrify people with violence. He was talking about consequence. Fear, in his sense, is the dread of what happens if you cross the line. It is the understanding that you cannot use this person and walk away clean. So become that kind of feared. Feared by your standards. Feared by your ability to withdraw. Feared by your willingness to let someone lose you. Feared by your silence. Feared by your independence. Now look at your life like a strategist, not a victim. Machiavelli said a ruler must learn how not to be good when survival demands it. Translation for you: you must learn how not to be nice when self-respect demands it. Because you have turned goodness into a profession, you perform goodness, you overgive, you overforgive, you over-explain, and Machiavelli's warning is simple. If you insist on being good in every situation, you will be destroyed among those who are not. This is not cynicism, this is reality. Your kindness is beautiful when it is chosen, but when it is compulsive, it becomes weakness. When it is automatic, it becomes predictable, and predictable people are easy to manage. So your second shift is this: become less readable, become less predictable, become less instantly accessible. Not to play games, but to stop being harvested. A predictable person is a vending machine. Press button A, get a yes. Press button B, get forgiveness. Press button C, get an instant reply. And when you are a vending machine, people stop seeing your humanity. They see your function. So break the pattern. Delay replies. Decline favors. Cancel when you don't want to go. Stop performing politeness to avoid tension. Let them feel the slight discomfort of not owning your schedule. And watch what happens. Some will complain. Some will guilt trip you. Some will call you selfish. Good. That is the sound of entitlement losing power. That is the sound of parasites starving. Because parasites do not love you. They love access. The moment access costs them something, they reveal what they really wanted. They were never attached to you. They were attached to your compliance. Now we go deeper. Scarcity is not just schedule. Scarcity is emotional access. You have been bleeding in public. You have been giving your wounds to people who have not proven they can hold them. Machiavelli wrote about appearances because he understood a cruel truth. Vulnerability in the wrong hands becomes ammunition. When you complain to someone who doesn't respect you, you hand them a map of where to strike later. So adopt this law. Never bleed in public. Not because you're cold, because you're disciplined. Save your wounds for the few, the proven, the loyal. Give the crowd your composure, not your veins. This alone changes your aura. People cannot disrespect a person who seems unbothered. They try, they poke, they test. But if they cannot extract reaction, they cannot feed their ego. Reaction is the drug. Deny it. Now let's talk about the body, because power is physical before it becomes verbal. Insecure people rush like they are stealing time. They talk fast, walk fast, over-explain fast. They behave like they don't deserve space. Slow down. Move like you have time. Speak like you are choosing words, not begging to be understood. Pause after statements. Let the room carry your sentence like thunder. Silence is not empty. Silence is dominance. The difference between a beggar and a judge is tempo. The beggar rushes to be accepted. The judge takes his time because acceptance is irrelevant. Become the judge of your own life. Now test this in real life. The next time someone interrupts you, don't shrink. Don't speed up. Don't try to win them back with a smile. Either keep speaking at the same volume or stop completely. Stop. Look at them. Hold 3 seconds of silence like a blade that doesn't move. Then say, calmly, I wasn't finished. No smile. No apology. No nervous laughter. Because in that moment, you are teaching a new rule. Your presence is not a soft target. Your words are not optional. Your boundaries are not a suggestion. Most people have never felt that kind of stillness from you. They are used to you bending. They are used to you smoothing everything over. They are used to you paying the emotional bill to keep the room comfortable. But when you hold the tension instead of dissolving it, the dynamic flips. They feel a spike of anxiety, not because you threatened them, because you stopped accommodating them, because they can no longer predict you. This is what I call the Machiavellian gaze, not aggression, observation, a calm, unreactive look that says, I see exactly what you're doing, and it doesn't work on me. Predatory personalities hate that gaze, because predators feed on reaction. They feed on flinching, on over-explaining, on guilt. When they can't extract reaction, they lose control. And it's not just predators. Even good people unconsciously respect the person who can hold pressure. Because pressure reveals structure. Pressure reveals spine. Now understand the deeper principle. People don't respect your feelings. They respect your standards. Feelings are private. Standards are visible. Standards are what you enforce when it costs you something. Standards are what you do when you're scared. Standards are what remain when your heart is shaking, but your voice is steady. So stop measuring your power by how much you can tolerate. That is slavery disguised as virtue. Start measuring your power by how quickly you can withdraw access when the line is crossed. And yes, it will feel cruel at first, because you were trained to believe that boundaries are violence. But a boundary is not violence. A boundary is structure. A boundary is self-respect, given a shape. Machiavelli would tell you this in his own language. Power expands into empty space. If you are empty space, people will fill you with their demands. So stop being empty. Become a wall, not loud, not dramatic, not emotional, just solid.